Okay. So main thing, how many days exam it is and what is the content that comes into it. We would be discussing this now. So the day one consists of 6 blocks, and each block contains 38 to 40 questions. And the total duration of first day is 7 hours, 6 hours of the blocks, and 45 minutes of break, and 15 minutes of the tutorial, which we can usually skip, and it adds on to a break time. Believe me, like 6 blocks a day is doable task, and even the blocks do finish before the actual timing. So timing is not an issue. And also regarding the question stem, it's moderate in the length, not very lengthy as they show up in the UWorld, and not very small as they show us in the CMS forms and everything. So yeah, 6 blocks and 7 hours duration. Day two is 6 blocks again, and it usually contains the questions regarding risk factors, questions regarding the screening and stuff. So it is very easy, and the blocks are like of shorter duration, 45 minutes. And each block contains only 33 questions, which again have a very short question stem. So you will complete these blocks like before time, and all the break would be added to your CCS cases later on. On the day two, not only you will get 6 blocks, but along with 6 blocks, you will be having 10 to 11 CCS cases, and few of the cases would be of 10 minutes, and the rest of the cases would be of 20 minutes. Doing like 20-minute CCS cases is not a tougher job, I would say. Still, you will have time, but you'll have that adrenaline rush in during that 10-minute CCS cases, right? So I'll guide you as we proceed ahead in the presentation, like how to go for it. Ultimately, it is a total 9 hours exam that we have to take into consideration for the day two. Now, I would say the most important question, like what to follow to achieve a good score in USMLE step 3. As we know, UWorld is extremely important, but I need to add on that UWorld subscription, they usually tell you to buy CCS cases along with it, and also the biostats of the UWorld. So I would suggest you need not buy the CCS cases from UWorld because they are of no help. This is my personal opinion, I would say. Just the UWorld and biostats from the UWorld is also helpful. For the CCS cases, a better resource to go for is to buy the subscription from ccscases.com. And it provides you with 100 to 200 cases in that, and also give you the evaluation after you do it, like what goes wrong and what not. So that is why CCS cases are a good platform to assess yourself. Beyond these resources, what else you have to take is go on the Reddit, search for 90 pages high yield step 3 notes, and those would be the 90 pages. And when you are doing like each and every system, just go through these notes. They're very concise, very helpful, and you can even revise it during the dedicated period when you're studying. So go for it. And last but not the least is first aid, which is really, really, really important, because since the step 1 has turned pass fail, they have started including its component into the step 3. So what do shows up is biochemistry, all those cycles, urea cycle, all those glycogen storage disorders and everything, they do show up on step 3 as well. Immunology, again, the same, all the immunological disorders, which are B cells, T cells, B and T cell disorders, that whole table and number of questions do come up on the day 2, I would say. And third is microbiology. just the table of that gram positive, gram negative bacterias, and what is the classification, which is catalase positive, which is novobiosine resistant, and everything of that sort. So just the tables and the important pictures from the micro, and also the public health, ethics, and biostats, they do come up from first aid. So you need to revise that general portion of first aid, and each and every drug in the about the pharma, which is a separate chapter in each and every system. So you can just go over those pages as well. So these are the 4 resources which are extremely important for your step 3 preparation. What are the supplementary resources apart from this? As I was discussing on the day 2, they will ask you n number of questions about the risk factors. So how would you remember those risk factors? What are the sources you should go for? Those are the Divine podcasts. Just go on the Google, search for Divine podcast risk factors audio, and listen to that audio, note it down on a paper, and that will really helpful that would be really helpful for you. Even you can refer for Emboss library if any of your friends have it, and you can get an access from that, but it is optional. But I think Divine podcasts will suffice for you. Third very important thing is Mehlman's risk factors PDF. Again, go to Google, just type it as such. You will be able to download this PDF and just cram those things, because after all, everyone knows what are the risk factors for a particular disease. And they will put each and every risk factor just on the basis of research. One of those factors is most important, and one cannot know it in general. So you need to have some resource from which you can refer to. And Mehlman tells it really, really well. So you can go for it. Next thing is about the screening and vaccinations. Go to CDC website, learn onto the recent screening guidelines, go to USPSTF website, you will get the latest screening guidelines, learn each and everything about it, because this would be the major chunk of the 6 blocks that would show up on the day 2. So these are the resources that you have to follow. Then comes on to what assessments one should take before going into exam. Just the 3 resources, UWSA 1, UWSA 2, and also the free 137, which is available on the FSMB website. So you can go through them. Personally, during my step exam, I just went for UWSA 2, and I just did free 137. I wasn't able to do UWSA 1, as I was being guided by friends that UWSA 1 over predicts you. You will feel like you're getting a higher score on that. But the best mimicker of your real score on the step exam would be UWSA 2. Personally, it's my experience, whatever you score on your UWSA 2, you'll get it on the real exam. So just do it before a week before your real exam. That would be really helpful. Moving ahead, the most important question that everyone has in mind, how to use these resources and what is the ideal preparation time that one would take. So I would say the time for this would be 1 to 1.5 months on an average, and that's it. When you're not you're sitting at home, you're completely free, or even if you're on your rotations or doing your duty, still maximum 2 months is the time that one in which one can crack the step 3 exam. So ideally 1 month of preparation and 15 days dedicated before the exam date. That is more than sufficient to get into a better position to score even to score better. So UWorld goal for during your time should be, initial 1 month should be UWorld in the random mode. You can go for the tutor, because sometimes you need time to know what exactly the question is, and read to the solution alongside. That was my approach. Even you can do it timed if you feel comfortable, but I was comfortable with the tutor mode, random mode, and also I used to do like 2 blocks per day, which really helped me packing the UWorld up in a month, right? Even less than that. And also, alongside a goal for a single day should be reading the few pages of first aid. As first aid is what actually shows up, I would say UWorld is plays a smaller role in step three. More bigger role is of the first aid, and if you're ignoring first aid, one can never actually score good in step three. Key to scores is reading first aid, and that is what the majority of questions comes from. Then, regarding the dedicated phase, I would say revise your first aid pages. It is very, very important. Go for those high yield notes from Reddit, 90 pages, read them up again. Go to the Mehlman's review PDFs. They are for like step three. There are total 4 PDFs, each of like 15 pages. And whatever you have studied from UWorld, whatever you have studied from first aid, these Mehlman review PDF summarize it very well, and they also prepare for you for like what sort of questions are being asked and in what way or approach do they ask you the questions. So go for these resources in your dedicated phase. Now, regarding the biostats also hold like at least 3 to 4 questions in each and every block. So it is also important. Refer to all the basic formulas. They will not ask you any complex biostats these days. They just wish you to know basic formulas that are already mentioned on first aid. Just revise those basic formulas, practice questions on the same, like positive predictive value, negative predictive value, likelihood positive ratio, likelihood negative ratio. Like these are the very simple basic formulas that they test you in each and every block. So you should be aware of that. One thing that I have not included in this PDF is about the drug ad questions. Drug ad questions are actually really lengthy questions. So I would advise in each and every block, leave it to the end, because and after all, if the time management is an issue for you, for sure leave it to the end. Then just read the question stem at the last, go back to the drug ad questions and try to extract out the stuff from the tables and everything. But don't worry about those questions, because everyone would be facing difficulty in them, and they truly ask it in a very vague manner, which is not you're not able to solve that. So out of like 5-6 blocks having those drug ad questions, you will be easily able to solve the 3, and don't worry about the rest 3 that you're not able to solve, and you need not keep practicing about them. They are something that are to be left for the moment, right? Okay. So I have guided you about what are the resources that you have to use in your first 1 month preparation, then the next 15 days dedicated phase, where to practice the biostat from. Now, very, very important thing for the step 3 is CCS cases, right? It is the most important part, and key to score high as well is also the CCS cases. So buy the CCS cases from ccscases.com, arrange them into high yield format. Uh, and high yield format, you have to click on a button in this app and start from the number 1 high yield CCS case. You can complete 100 before the exam and you're good to go. You need not like complete every single case given on that platform. Obviously, start solving 2 to 3 cases per day during your initial phase of your preparation, and increase your pace to 10 per day so that you're accustomed to the format of the exam as well. Because there would be the cases back to back. You'll just get like 5 minutes of break after solving 2 cases. So you really need to keep yourself up with that pace, right? So 100 cases before practice cases before showing up on exam is a good number to go for it. Next, the most important slide of this presentation is this: preparing a cheat sheet. What do I mean by it? So, solving the CCS cases, you will get to know that there is a certain format that they wish you to enter. They'll give you specific marks for each and everything. Like whenever you encounter a patient in the emergency, right? You need to assess its airway, breathing, circulation. You need to check oxygen levels. You have to put that intravenous cannula. Then you need to start the fluids and the basic stuff, right? Then they assess you whether you have shifted that patient from the emergency setting to inpatient setting, or the timing when you should have discharged the patient to home and everything. Third point that they take into consideration is that whether have you ordered each and every relevant blood investigation. Fourth thing that they test you on, that whether you have done all the relevant radiological investigations, and the negative points are being deducted for if you do any invasive tests. They do not like invasive tests, right? So you have to prepare a cheat sheet, which I'll show you in the upcoming slide. uh, Whenever after your block one, you'll get a 10 minutes break. Refer to your sheet and write it on the rough paper that is being provided, so that whenever you are solving your CCS cases, that sheet should be in front of you and you should know what to type on the screen, right? Because timing would be 10 minutes literally, and within those 8 minutes you have to write each and everything. So this is a cheat sheet that I prepared for myself. Like for the kidney, I was like, okay, I need to enter these 5 tests for sure. For the liver, I'll go for LFT, I'll go for lipid profile, coag, and hepatitis panel. So these are the things that you cannot miss, right? ABG, pulse oximeter, oxygen. For the cardiac, it should be echo, it should be EKG, cardiac enzymes monitoring. Infectious disease profile has a separate things that they do expect out of you. In the imaging for the pregnant females, every female, you need to get a urinary pregnancy test within that reproductive age. For the diabetes surgery, so you need to have this cheat sheet in front of you, then only you will be able to type and enter things very quickly, right? And a very important thing is the case specific consults. Whenever you're not able to diagnose a case and case is about to end, I think go for like consult obs gynae, consult neurology. And this is a saving point, that at least you have referred that patient to some relevant specialty which can diagnose it. It will help you fetch some extra percentage in the CCS cases. Last but not the least, when the case ends, you literally have 2 minutes to type certain things. And then comes the importance of this prevention stuff, where you have to write, okay, avoid smoking, no alcohol usage, no drugs, and each and every vaccination for that age, you have to type it, because they actually deduct marks on the same. You need to know this age group, this vaccination is required. You'll advise them vaccination. You will advise them about any diet. You can consult social services and everything. So this is how it goes, and this cheat sheet can help you score really high in the CCS cases. So have a note of it, make and create your own cheat sheet, and do write it during the blocks in the morning, so that you can assess it when you'll begin your cases in the afternoon, right? That's a very, very, very important trick. Okay, so moving ahead, the very last portion of our presentation is what are the tips to score better, right? Because we need to show some decent score, at least above, like I would say 225 is a better score to have on USMLE step 3. So work smartly on frequently asked topics, that you will gain the same from like Mehlman's risk review PDFs, and you'll get to know, okay, these are the frequently asked topics, right? And know what is required and practice well from the resources that I told. And last but not the least, familiarize yourself with the pattern. Revise your CCS cases, make the cheat sheets, because after all, 40% of your marks is attributed to CCS cases, right? So it's a huge chunk, I would say. So what do I mean by saying the pattern? Let me clarify it. The pattern involves management-based questions. So it would be knowing what is the best management for this thing, right? Most important risk factor. That is why I told you the resources to refer for the risk factors. They will ask you risk factor for the n number of diseases, and even in the day 2, 10 questions out of like 33 in each and every block can be about risk factors. So it is that important. Third, screening guidelines in complete depth. You cannot read it superficially. You should know like each and every option that is there about the screening guidelines. Okay. And also the first line, second line, third line treatment for each and every disease, basically, which are very common. And they will usually tell you, okay, this is a disease and this is a diagnosis. Then you would be thinking, okay, I know the treatment. And suddenly they'll tell you, this person is allergic to this and this drug. Now, what is the management? So that is why you need to know what is the second line, what is the third line, and that will help you score really, really high. So I think you will feel really good once you're done with all your steps, because that's the end of like whole of your USMLE journey in terms of doing these very, very long exams. So I'm up for any of the questions that you have. And apart from this, you can contact me anytime on via Program Insider. You can visit my portfolio, put up your queries if you have any. So I'm open to answer the questions if anyone has any of the doubts regarding this process.